Hey, good morning. Hey. I'm great. How are you? Happy Monday. Okay. Good morning. Good. Glad to hear. All right, let's get into this. Welcome back to my channel. This is Adana, also known as the Afrozine, and today I'm reading for the Beautiful Handsome Collective. Hello, Collective. How you doing? Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. To book a private reading with me or to shop in my store. All that information is in the description box below. Before we get into this read today, of course, don't forget to grab this copy of this book here. It is called Wisdom Beyond Wounds. It is readily available for purchase on Amazon.com. Okay, I created this book to help and assist the collective with healing from many different aspects of your life or experiences that you may have experienced or encountered here. All right. So again, we got Black Friday coming up. Support your girl. All right. But again, thank you so much for your immense support. It is truly appreciated. All right. So let's get into this read here. All right, so please keep in mind that this is a collective read. Not everything that's going to resonate with you, everything I mentioned to you is not going to resonate. Take what resonates and leave the rest. All right. Okay, let's get into it. So, channel message here is narcissistic families is trying to use a childhood friend to get into your circle or to get into your space. So I'm going to be speaking about this from more so a psychological standpoint in regards to how narcissistic families tend to use, again, childhood friends, a friend, a best friend, whatever the case may be, to get closer to you because they feel like we'll say childhood friend may have a little bit more information or intel or insight into your life versus the actual narcissistic family dynamic here. Okay. So, um, oh, and then we're also going to break down as to why some friends fall for it versus why some friends don't fall for it as well too, okay? Again, please keep in mind this is a collective read. Not everything that I mentioned to you is going to resonate. Take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, let's get it. So the first one, psychological tactic that narcissistic families love to use onto childhood friends is that it is the concerned relative act. And I'm going to break that down, of course. The concerned relative act consists of them pretending that they're worried about you, meaning the narcissistic family here or the dynamic here. They are very pretentious surrounding their concern, their high concern surrounding you here. Now, the reason why they have some form of a concern here is because you've completely disconnected or you have ignored or severed the connection between you and the narcissistic family dynamic here. Okay. So they pretend that they're worried about you. They frame you as unstable. And the only reason why they frame you as unstable here is because you don't want anything to do with them. Okay. From their perspective here, being unstable to them basically means that you don't want anything to do with them. It's unstable for you to not wanting to hang with them. It's unstable or considered unstable for you not to want to speak with them. That makes sense? So this is why they may frame you as such that you're unstable because you've severed the connection from the actual family dynamic here. Also, they may state something like you are very emotional or ungrateful. Again, these are all tactics or more so emotional and psychological tactics that these family dynamic tend to use here because they're willing to say or do anything to get back into what you have private here. Okay, they feel like your private life is a secret to them and they don't like the fact that you keep secrets from them. I don't strongly feel you're living a secretive life because I've also mentioned the differentiation between secrecy and actual privacy here. Okay, privacy, let me get you out of here. Okay, um Privacy is basically, let me look at the etymology again. Hold on one second. Let me don't get it wrong. 1 second. Hold on. Let me look up the etymology. Okay, secret is the etymology of the word secret is that which is hidden from human understanding. So individuals that live a secretive life, or more so a secretive life, they're going to do everything possible. Hey, y'all, they're going to do everything possible to ensure that you can't humanly understand what they're trying to hide from you. That's the secrecy in it. It also represents hidden from general knowledge, okay? They don't want you to be knowledgeable or aware as to the things that they're trying to hide from you here. So it is considered a secret. Privacy or private, on the flip side of it, represents privacy is basically pertaining or belonging to self, meaning you're by yourself or you're sitting with self, not shared, okay? Peculiar to an individual only. You guys are individuals within your own rights and your own way, the way that you do things on the day-to-day here. And you may have a private life, not a secret life. Big difference. The privacy in your life pertains to just what you want people to be aware about. If you don't want people to know what you got going on, that's okay. You are entitled to have a private life if you so deem to have such, okay? So private also represents not open to the public for the use of privileged persons. You are the one that is considered privileged. You're privileged with the privacy of self. And not everyone is on the same caliber or on the same frequency when it comes to you wanting to be private in your day-to-day here, okay? So that's the difference between the two here. Going back to my notes. So they pretend they're worried about you. The narcissistic family pretend that they're worried about you. They're framing you as so-called unstable. You're not unstable. They may frame you as very emotional or ungrateful, okay? This pushes the childhood friend into protector mode, okay? This is all psychological war or warfare in regards to what these narcissistic family members do here. So they push the childhood friend into protector mode, making them feel responsible to check on you. But really, they're checking for the family, not you. Okay. The next one is playing victim, which a lot of narcissistic family dynamics love to do here. So they will strategically share half truths, not the full truth, half truth. And if it's a half truth, it's not the actual truth. A half truth is still considered a lie. It's 50% of the truth. But when it comes to truth, in order for you to understand or to comprehend or to grasp the truth, you need 100% of it, not 50% of it. Okay. So with that being said, narcissistic families love to strategically share half-truths or 50% of truth or exaggerated stories of what you did to them. It's never what they did to you. Again, it's half. It's one-sided, okay? That's why their truth or their half-truths are considered one-sided, okay? So they share half-truths or exaggerated stories of what you did to them, never what they have done to you. They keep that completely secret. Then they position themselves as the wounded ones, turning your friend into the rescuer in their triangle. And sometimes some friends may fall for that because, especially if you may have had a childhood friend that may have known your family or may have grown to know your family here, they're looking at it from both sides of the spectrum here. But some people love to, again, with titles, some people are very receptive to the word title or the different titles that people try to, create in their life, i.e. a mother figure, a father figure, a brother figure, whatever, however here. And they're looking at it as such. Well, that's your mom or that's your dad or that's your brother, Yeah, you did live with them. Yeah, I've been around them. Maybe they are right. Maybe you have been acting very standoffish. Maybe something is off with you. You know what I mean? And this is what happens with a childhood friend, the ones that are more susceptible to the BS surrounding a narcissistic family dynamic here. They're more susceptible to more so be receptive to and accepting as to what the narcissistic family dynamic is saying about you here. Okay, so they become triangulated in this whole debacle here. The next one is using for being familiar. So they'll use familiarity to manufacture trust. They have to manufacture trust. They have to generate trust. They have to create trust. Okay. So because the friend grew up around the family, the narcissistic family will exploit the nostalgia. Yes, they would. They weaponize statements such as, you've known us forever. So let's say you have a narcissistic mother or a narcissistic father, and they know that you may have had at one point in time a connection with a so-called friend or childhood friend here, right? The narcissistic family dynamic will go towards the friend and be like, man, you know what's forever. Let's say their name is Peggy Sue. This is just an example. Maybe you know a Peggy, maybe you know a Sue. This is just an example, okay? So a narcissistic family dynamic is going towards your friend named Peggy Sue. And they're like, hey, Peggy Sue, have you heard from the collective? And we're so worried about the collective here. Yeah, you've known us forever. You know how we are. Or they'll say something like, we've always loved them. This is what a narcissistic family dynamic would say. This tricks the friend into doubting what you might have shared about the family's true behavior. So if you have been around this friend or had this friend around you here and you were telling them, hey, my mom is not treating me right. My mom is very disrespectful towards me. My dad is very disrespectful towards me here. And you may have shared some more so intimate, detailed information with this childhood friend. And you're thinking this childhood friend would, be able to see the truth as it is. But sometimes it doesn't happen in that way. So when the narcissistic family realized that you may be looking for an outlet, or you may have had the outlet surrounding the childhood friend here, they will utilize them as such. Okay. So the next one is charm and performance mode. So narcissistic family dynamic here will turn on the charm. They sure would. Okay. They have the gift of gab sometimes. They tend to cook, joke, or compliment, reminiscing just enough to influence the friend's perception. Okay. The friends see the performance, but not the pathology. The pathology is the origin of where, we'll just say, the cancer begins. The narcissistic family dynamic is the origin as to where the cancer begins. Y'all sticking with me so far? Next one is guilt and obligation hooks. Okay. They remind your friend of childhood memories to create emotional obligation. Let me repeat that. Hey, y'all. They remind your friend of childhood memories to create emotional obligation. So some examples would be, remember when we used to take you in? Remember when we used to feed you? Remember when we used to come over and we used to sit down and watch TV together? So they're trying to create some form of an emotional, again, nostalgia or an emotional pull here. So that way the actual childhood friend feels sorry for the family that you disconnected from. Okay. They'll say something like, remember all the summers you spent with us? Remember when we went out for ice cream together? Remember when we went to the beach together? Remember when you we went to the park together? Things of that nature here. Okay. This creates debt and also doubt in the friend's mind, making them easier to manipulate, because if the friend has had memories surrounding, you actually did those things here, they're going to look at it as such. Well, you know what? Yeah, I used to hang with the Collectors family. Yeah, they never showed me bad face. They never disrespected me. They never put me in harm's way. They never yelled at me. They never gave me any reason to go against them, if that makes sense. So it creates debt. DEBT, an emotional debt, and also doubt as well too in the friend's mind, making them easier to manipulate. Okay. The next one is triangulation. They strategically place the friend in the middle. They'll say something like, well, can you just talk to them? We haven't heard from the collective. We really want to know what's going on. And I know that you're very close to the collective here. Is it possible that you can reach out to them to see what's going on? And this is why sometimes you may have this so-called friend and they're not a friend. I need to make that very clear. But sometimes you will have a so-called friend that will actually pop up in your space here. And they'll be like, hey, how you doing? And you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm good to that. Well, reach out to me. You would never, what's the word? You would never guess who reached out to me. You'd be like, who? Your mom. You'd be like, my mom, or your dad, or your brother, or your sister, or your uncle, your cousin, your grandma, however resonates here, a family member. Yeah, such and such family member reached out to me about you. Why? Oh, they just wanted to see how you were doing. Well, if that's the case, if you collective, if you wanted them to be aware in regards to what you were doing and how you were doing here, when you picked up the phone and call them and let them know what you were doing and how you were doing, when you send them some form of a communication mode, a text message or email, some form of something here to let the toxic family dynamic know what you were doing and how you were doing. I mean, it's very clear and cut and clear. It truly is. But a lot of people are not able to understand the depth in regards to how far a narcissistic family dynamic would go to try to just to infiltrate or to get into your space here, okay? They may say something like, maybe they'll listen to you, okay? So maybe you may have had, past tense, you may have had a friend that you may have received, we'll say, advice or intel or information from surrounding how to deal with certain dynamics or whatever the situation may be here. So they'll say, well, maybe they'll listen to you, and the friend will take that as the lead because they want to look good in the family dynamics eyes here. And they'll say, you know what? Okay, no problem. I'll talk to them for you. It's just an example. Or they'll say something like, can you help us fix things? If they, meaning the toxic family dynamic, have to utilize a childhood friend to come in between the disconnect or the separation that you have placed between you and the toxic family here, you cannot trust this friend, or you should not trust this friend as much as you should not trust this family dynamic here. Again, if you wanted them to be aware as to what you had going on, you would have picked up the phone, you would have texted them, you would have called them, you would have emailed him, you would have did whatever it is that you need to do to ensure the connection stayed together. If that makes sense? So you don't need a friend or anyone for that matter to be reaching out to you for the sake of a toxic family dynamic here, okay? So then the friend turns into a messenger, a spy, or a pressure tool, because yet again, if you grew up with this friend here, now this friend feels very pressured to come towards you to see, well, why can't you work it out with your mom? Or why can't you work it out with your dad? Or why can't you work it out with your family dynamic? Take it how it resonates here, okay? So the next one here is hidden competitiveness. Y'all excuse me, it's Monday, okay? So if the family sees that the friend sees the friend as a positive force in your life, they'll try to dim that influence. Yes, they will. They'll try to get into the friend's head. So they'll say, thank y'all. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you, boo. They'll say something like, they'll start to plant subtle doubts or subtle seeds of inception or deception within this friend's mind here. And they'll say something like, are you really their friend? Do you really know them like you keep saying that you do? They'll say something like, they changed you. And this is just all psychological babble, psychological BS here, okay? Or they'll say something, they think they're better than the family. It's a quiet sabotage mission to get the friend, the childhood friend, to sit with themselves, to really think that, you know what, maybe the toxic family is right. They're not seeing them as toxic, of course. They're seeing them as just family, the title. And that's why some people get caught up in titles, because people love to utilize titles in that way. They will guilt trip people just by utilizing a specific title. Well, that's your mom or that's your dad. Just because they may have the title of a mother or father doesn't make them an actual great mother or father, is what I'm basically saying here. Next one is a smear campaign that they're going to keep testing and testing and testing. Thank y'all for the gifts. It's truly appreciated. They will test the smear campaign on this so-called friend, okay? So narcissistic families will casually drop insults, rumors, or private details about you to test how the friend responds. Let's say, for instance, your emotional body has been dysregulated, right? And the reason why it was dysregulated, because you always have to argue or fight, or more so be in protector mode to protect yourself from the insults that the toxic family will hurl towards you here. They're going to utilize that to their advantage, but more so your disadvantage here. So they'll say things like, yeah, every time you speak to the collective, they always have an attitude. or you can't speak to the collective because, they're always so triggered by what we say. Something like that here. They're testing the so-called friend here to kind of see if they're willing to take the bait. Okay. So if the friend doesn't defend you, it's not really your friend. That's why I said so-called friend, because a real friend that knows you in and out and have seen the experience that you went through is going to defend you. But again, all friends are not good friends. Okay. So with that being said, if the friend doesn't defend you, now the family is aware and is very knowledgeable that they can recruit them deeper. So this is where the disconnect starts to come in between you and the so-called friend here. Y'all good, y'all honky-dory at the time being or in the space that you're currently in. And let's say you reach out to the friend just to have a conversation, just to catch up with them. Now they're starting to act funny. You ain't realizing at the time why they're acting funny. Maybe you're just chalking it up to them just having a bad day, because we're all human. We do have our bad days from time to time here. But as you progress, or as the connection progress within this so-called childhood friend, you're realizing now that something is completely off, but you're not able to put your finger on it at the time. Okay. So this is where emotional manipulation through pity comes in. So crying, whining, exaggerating, suffering, and pretending to be abandoned. Oh, the collective abandoned me. This is the toxic family. Oh, the collective abandoned me. I don't know what I did wrong. And they know exactly what they did wrong here. I don't like to feel alone, and they won't talk to me, and they won't call me, and they won't text me, and life is going by, and life is too short. Like real stupid shit in that kind of way, just to make the friend, so-called friend, to feel very pity or pitiful for them here. They don't talk to us anymore. We don't know why. They purposely act wounded to evoke sympathy and to shift the blame onto you. And if you have a so-called friend in your space currently that are representing these so-called, these examples that I have gave to you, cut them off. They're not a friend. They're not a friend at all. Because if a friend is coming to you in regards to a family dynamic after you told them, hey, I'm not going to rock with this family member anymore. I'm not going to deal with them anymore. I don't want anything to do with them anymore. You know what I mean? You may have to sit down and to kind of pick your choices wisely, or more wiser. This is why some childhood friends fall for their foolishness. They only know the family version. The family version is just a facade of what the family want people to see them as such, not the actual real dynamic. The real dynamic is the things that happen behind closed doors. Okay? Most family, not all families, I'll say toxic narcissistic families, I'll put it in that way, tend to only show up in the family version to ensure they keep a certain facade going. They're the best family. They have the white picket fence, and they have a mom or dad in the home. And just because you have a mother or father or both in the home here doesn't mean that they were good family towards you here. Okay. Your friend remembers the public performance of your family, but not the private abuse. So of course they're going to side with them because they've never seen anything happen to you behind closed doors, because a toxic family is going to make sure that they keep that quiet behind closed doors. So they don't have the psychological experience to recognize manipulation. And as I mentioned to you guys before, manipulation can come in many ways, shapes, sizes, and forms here. So childhood imprinting makes them trust the familiar. Okay, so the toxic family may have imprinted on this so-called childhood friend here, imprinting them to trust what they realize, or what they recognize, or what they are accustomed to, the familiarity of the toxic family's point of view or their facade. Okay, the family feels safe to them because it's more so nostalgic. Familiarity confuses them, making them ignore red flags. This is what the toxic family want the friend to do. They want them to ignore and to bypass the red flags. But yet again, if they've never been in this experience as such, the toxic friend, because the friend is actually toxic, to, I don't want to say take the side, but not seeing the truth in the matter, okay? Because when it comes to truth, there's no sides to take. Again, the truth is what it is. You don't have to take sides for the truth. That's what it is. If that makes sense. Somebody eating an egg roll or a shrimp egg roll. Maybe you're making it from scratch. Okay, give me some. I like the peanut sauce. The next one here is that they believe the myth of the good family. Somebody eating cereal. Tricks are for kids. Somebody could be eating cereal or Frosted Flakes. Take that how that resonates. Just popped up. Many people are conditioned to assume families don't lie. Let me repeat that. Many people are conditioned to assume families don't lie, that families don't manipulate, or families don't act out of jealousy. Well, that's your mom. Well, why would your mom do that towards you? Well, that's your dad. Why in the world would your dad do that towards you? Man, ain't no way. I grew up with your sister. I grew up with you guys. I grew up with your brother. Your brother always seemed to be this, or your brother always seemed to be that. Again, why would a toxic, narcissistic family show you their true intentions? Let's be real. Why would they? Why would they? How would that benefit them or benefit the advantage from getting from others? How would it benefit the toxic family dynamic if they completely just show up in regards to who they truly are authentically, which is a lie? That's the real true authenticity of self, a lie. Yes, authenticity comes in two ways. The actual truth, the raw truth of the actual person, meaning you here, you're speaking the truth, you're on the right side of things, you're doing great things for yourself, you're on the up and up for yourself, so your true raw identity or authenticity of self is going to show up. Versus someone that lies a lot, but yet again, that's still a form of authenticity. Yes, it is. It's two sides. And the toxic family dynamic or the toxic friend or the toxic lover or whatever, however here, is on the opposite side of authenticity where their lies are being shown. So there are two ways, if that makes sense. So with that being said, many people are conditioned to assume families don't lie, families don't manipulate or act out of jealousy. So they tend to blindly accept the parents or the family narrative over yours. That's taking sides. Again, when a person is speaking truth, when you are speaking truth, there's no sides to truth. I've heard the saying before, there's their side and your side and then the truth. No, I don't understand that term. That's just me. Okay. I dive deep into stuff. That just doesn't make sense to me. If you have to take sides surrounding someone that has substantial facts, substantial evidence surrounding the truth, what side needs to be taken? That's what the truth is, if that makes sense. So they don't want to be in the middle, so they appease the family. Again, they're going to appease the family here is because they live with them, they hang with them, they, went to whatever, however it resonates here. And I'm talking about this toxic friend here because they are very toxic in nature. So instead of choosing you or them, they stay neutral, which really favors the narcissistic family dynamic here. Appeasement feels easier than confronting dysfunction. And sometimes the toxic friend is not even aware that they are in a dysfunctional space when it comes to the toxic family here, okay? Next one is they get flattered. So narcissistic families shower them with compliments, attention, and love bombing. Some friends fall for the ego boost. So that's to say all of a sudden your sibling gets really cool or close to your so-called friend. Oh yeah, I'm talking to your friend now, and yeah, I'm hanging with your friend, and yeah, they're so pretty and they're so handsome and they look so good, and they this and they that and da 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 da. And the toxic friend at the time is not even aware that it's just appeasement, so that way the toxic family can wedge themselves into the space between you and the so-called toxic friend at the time here. So the friends fall for the ego boost, okay? Next one is they lack psychological depth, which I feel like a lot of people do in today's society. A lot of people, they lack psychological depth for many different reasons. It could be experiences. It could be point of view. They're not even aware of the deep depths of psychological situations here. If the friend is emotionally undeveloped, and this is what narcissistic families love, they can't understand narcissistic behavior. Let's just say you may have had a friend that grew up in a space where their family was healthy, and that's all they knew. This is why some people come online and say, well, that's your mom and that's your dad, because they never ever experienced anything remotely surrounding narcissistic behavior. So of course their first go-to is to say, well, you should, because that's your mom. You only have one mom, or you only have one dad, or your grandmom, or your sister, or your uncle, however it resonates for you guys here. They're only, we'll say they're only speaking from experience. And if they have only experienced love, of course, from a positive perspective of things, you can't really fault them for that, but you can still separate from them because they can't understand your experience in regards to what you experience surrounding the narcissistic family dynamic here, okay? So they get manipulated because they don't recognize the patterns. If you had a friend that grew up in a loving space, a loving home, a safe space where they can express themselves and things of that nature, and you're coming on the complete opposite of the spectrum, I never received love, I never felt respected, I always were disrespected when it came to family dynamic and things of that nature here, they're not going to understand you. So I'm going to take what you state here. Sweetie 144 states, no friends, trust no one. That's the wrong attitude to have. And here's why. I come from a place of respect when I say this here. That is the wrong attitude to have. And here's why. Not everyone operates in the same way in regards to the friends that you may have experienced. And it's not right to you, and it's not fair to you to shut out the world based on the small experiences that you may have had. Coming from my experience, or speaking from my experience here, have I had bad friends that I consider friends? Absolutely. Yes, 100%. But it wasn't until I realized that I had to change the narrative in order for me to finally connect with actual friends that is on my caliber or on my level. Most of us here tend to attract so-called friends that are not on our level, and we're not able to decipher, or we're not able to understand why that so-called friend at the time was not on our level. That's where the lessons come in. If that makes sense, again, your blessings come from your lessons. So I disagree with what you said in regards to no friends, trust no one, because if you don't trust anyone, that means you don't trust yourself. Let's talk about it. If you don't trust yourself, you can't trust anyone. That's where your discernment comes in. If you trust yourself and you trust your discernment, you're going to be able to maneuver through life however you need to maneuver through life. Have I made new friends since all of this has happened to me? Yes, I have. That's the honest truth. That I had to sit with myself and to actually figure out what was right and what was wrong for me? Yes, that's growth. But coming here in a space where you keep saying you can't trust anyone, that means you don't trust yourself. And I'm coming from a space of love. I ain't trying to argue with you, and I ain't trying to fight with you. I'm just trying to give you the gems. That's all. That's it. That's all. I'm coming from a space of love. Want to make that very clear. If you want new friends, you have to be a friend to yourself first. You have to establish boundaries with self. Become your own best friend first in order for you to attract the type of friends that you want. Hear me out. I love me. I love the God in me. You can't tell me nothing about me. I have boundaries. Very tight boundaries. And if I'm connecting with a new friend, let's say a friend, and we got to get out this habit of everyone a friend. It's a difference between friends and associates as well. And this is something that I had to learn as well. Not everyone is your friend. Most people are coming to you as a form of an associate. Yes. You'll be able to differentiate between the two in regards to having someone that is an actual associate versus someone that is an actual friend. You're going to have to sit and do the work with that. Or, shameless plug, y'all can come into the group Wisdom Beyond Wounds, the group on Facebook here, and we definitely help each other surrounding the traumas that you may have experienced here, okay? So with that being said here, If you want new friends, the first initial thing that you should do for self is to become the best friend of self first. Because the more that you are aware, the more that you learn about self, the more, again, you'll be able to use your discernment in a very credible way or in a very positive way here. And that way you won't fall for the okie doke anymore. This is why the lessons were being had. So that way you can differentiate between the two versus who's an actual friend towards you versus who is just more so an associate towards you here. So I'm moving forward with that one. So they don't want to lose the family's approval, this so-called friend here. Your friend may have enjoyed the feeling of being a part of the family growing up. Okay, I'm going to speak about it from a different side. Let's say that you had a friend that may have experienced the same things that you may have experienced. They may not have had a good mother figure or a good father figure here, right? And they're wanting to feel like family. So they're willing to do anything possible to feel like family here. So they don't want to lose the family's approval because they feel that your family is their family here. That's all a facade, of course. So your friend may have enjoyed the feeling of being a part of the family growing up, okay? Take that how that resonates. Losing that approval feels like losing identity. So if they have known your mom or your dad, growing up here, and they don't want to lose that connection with them here, sometimes they will go against themselves here because they don't want to lose that feeling of family, but it's not an actual family feeling here, okay? The next one is they're scared of conflict. The friend. People who fear confrontation tend to side with whoever is the most dramatic or emotional, usually the narcissistic family here. Okay, so those are signs in regards to some childhood friends that actually fall for the okie doke. Now, this is some signs where childhood friends actually don't fall for it, and this is how you're able to differentiate and realize that this is an actual friend here, okay? If the actual friend, this is an actual friend that don't fall for the foolishness here, they know you deeply and they trust your character. Your character has remained the same. You may have shifted emotionally, but the actual characteristics of you stays the same, if that makes sense. They've seen your core, your true identity, the raw parts of self, your growth and your wounds. So your truth outweighs the family's theatrics. Okay, hey. They witnessed cracks in the family before, so they're able to see, something's not right here. My friend is telling me the truth here. I see the actual facts or the information surrounding the truth in regards to what you guys are saying towards this friend here. And this friend realizes that this family is just a ploy to try to get back into your life here. So maybe they saw the envy. Maybe they saw the weird comments, passive aggressive comments, or disrespect when you were young. So now it clicks or it makes sense to that actual friend. Next one is they've grown psychologically and spiritually as well too. Maybe the friend may have went off to high school or college or just in life here, and they have had their own experiences, enough experiences here where they can now come to a common ground or the truth here, and they're realizing, oh yeah, you know what, I experienced that. Yeah, I didn't experience that with a family dynamic, but I experienced that with a coworker, another friend, a lover, whatever the case may be, and they're actually able to see the signs here. Also, a healed friend can smell manipulation instantly. So they will tell you, hey, I don't think that's right what they're doing towards you. Maybe you should think about this from this point of view. They're going to give you healthy pointers, not toxic. A real friend is going to give you healthy pointers and is going to steer you in the right path. So that way you're able to see what maybe you're not able to see. Okay. They don't need validation from your family. They don't give a damn about your family. If this was a real true friend here, they don't give a damn about your family here, but they're realizing that your family ain't nothing. They ain't shit. They're nothing but caca, okay? They're not interested in being liked or chosen, okay? And normally true, raw, authentic individuals don't give a damn about being chosen or being liked. Okay, their vibration, or your vibration is going to speak for yourself here. Their loyalty is rooted in truth and not performance. Also, they trust their intuition. Your energy and your story feels true. Truth is an actual vibration, believe it or not. Yes, it is. Lying is also a vibration as well too. So your energy and your story feels true. The family behavior feels off, and for that friend, a real true friend here, that's enough for them to see it for how they need to see it here. So let's go deeper within the cards here in regards to utilizing a childhood friend surrounding these toxic family dynamic here, okay? Here we go with this lock key. Lock key. Yes. Excuse me. You've completely locked yourself away or up from the toxic family here, because honestly, locking yourself away or disconnecting from the toxic family here is really great for your mental health or your mental state or your emotional state. Shoot, even your physical state, your financial state, your spiritual state, all of the states that represents you here. It's very important to make sure that you are able to emotionally regulate yourself, okay? So you're doing all that you need to do to ensure that you and only you that have the master key towards yourself or to the growth of who you are or who you're becoming here. They don't like the fact that they don't have access to the keys or to yourself here to unlock your mind, to dysregulate your mind, or to dysregulate you emotionally here, okay? So it puts them in a tizzy, the toxic dynamic here, or family dynamic here. It puts them in a tizzy here where they feel like that they can no longer get past the blockages that you may have put up towards them here. So they become very desperate in their attempt in trying to recruit anyone that they can. This is why for the ones that resonate, this is why some of you guys may have lost friends who you may have thought or considered to be friends. They weren't friends here, okay? Because they weren't able to see the truth as such. Everybody is going to adapt differently. Some of you guys, you may get upset, you may cry, you may get angry. Those are valid feelings, valid emotions, of course. You have to take that how that resonates here. But the most important thing here is to see it for how it truly is, okay? Okay, thank you. Yes, you are the golden key, absolutely. Yeah. We have, there's an heir to the wall. That's the toxic family. They're trying to cement their heir to your greatness of self. I can't hear anything about the collective. I don't see anything about the collective. What is the collective doing? Well, you're supposed to help us. I thought you said you were their friend. This is the toxic friend that they're speaking to here by, by the way. Well, I thought you said that y'all were friends. And I thought you said you knew the ins and outs of them and stuff like that. Things that nature here. And their ears are just being cemented into the wall here. They can't move the ear, or they can't hear anything, or the clogging of their ear here, they're not able to see or hear what you got going on. So they feel stuck hearing your good news or your great news. If you're in a connection or a partnership here, you just got promoted to a new position, your success is very evident, etc. However, it resonates for you guys here. They don't like the fact that you're not a part of your success here. If they would have played their cards right, not even their cards, if they would have treated you better, if they would have taken the time to heal their toxic ways, their toxic traits, and their generational traumas here, they would have been right where you are today. So they have no one to blame but themselves, okay? Thank you for being a friend. You could be watching the Golden Girls. Okay, maybe Blanche is your favorite character or favorite personality, on the Golden Girls, okay? Thank you. Yes, boo. You see me losing weight? You see me? Yeah, boo. Yeah, and I'll use that as an example. Sometimes, not all of us, but sometimes we may tend to gain weight around people that is not good for you. You're taking on their baggage. You're taking on their emotional baggage. You're taking on their physical baggage. You're taking on their mental baggage, and you start to wear the baggages of other people. So when you disconnect from others, this is when the weight starts to come off. That's one way, of course. That's a spiritual aspect of things. You know what I mean? So that's just an example. But thank you. Yes, I'm losing weight because I got rid of the people that didn't serve me for my highest good. Do I feel bad about it? Fuck nah. I don't feel bad about it. I feel great about it. Shoot. Thank you. Someone's eating pizza, okay? Someone loves Billy Joel. Let's see. We have reflection here. Maybe you're watching The Little Mermaid recently. Or maybe you have been drawn to water. You could be working with Mami Wata. You could be working with Oya. Take how it resonates. A lot of aquatic spiritual energies surrounding the collective today. Could be working with Poseidon, even Medusa. Take it how it resonates. But there's a reflection in this person's, there's a reflection here. So you are, okay, the reflection that, so you are actually seeing who you are in the reflection. Your reflection is truly connected to to who you are physically, okay? You're in the mirror, you're liking what you're seeing, you're doing the work here, and you are seeing great results. So you love what you see in the mirror. You love the reflection that you are starting to mold into. It doesn't look like dysmorphia. It looks like the real thing, okay? So what you see is what you get, and you're liking what you're seeing here within yourself. Someone's eating ravioli, or you love ravioli. Okay. Someone is stuck in their childhood space or childhood state. It could be a family dynamic, or it could be a friend, however it resonates. But someone feels stuck within themselves because they can't get out of this stuck stagnancy or rut that they place themselves in here. They may have feel guilty. So a friend may feel guilty for, and this is a friend that you might not even be aware that is talking to your family behind your back. It's not a friend, of course. But for whoever resonates, you're feeling guilty that you're able to see them, or you're able to spot them a mile away. And you just disconnected quietly from this person. Again, not everything requires a fight or an argument. People feel that if you are entangled in their fights or arguments here, that means that you have some form of love for them. No, fighting is not a form of love. I don't know who came up with that foolish BS or perception, but fighting is not considered a form of love. Well, if they fight for me, they love me. The fuck not. I'm not fighting for you. Especially if you coming towards me with trying to fight and argue with me. I'm not arguing and fighting with nobody. This is something I had to learn. Is my mouth spicy? Hell yes. Some of y'all have experienced me gathering a couple of motherfuckers on here. Yes. And I don't take that back. I don't. But I realize, like, you know what? I'm getting older. I'm 1 year older. And I realize, yeah, sometimes I ain't got to argue and fight with you. I'm just going to let you fall to the waistline in front of everyone to see. And I think for me, specifically for me, that was the best approach for me, okay? You have to do what's best for you, of course. Just because I've tapered the spiciness doesn't mean that the spiciness is still not there, you know? I just learned to pick and choose my battles wisely because it's like, you ain't talking about anything. You're boring. Yeah. Shoot. Anywho. Look, the light is at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. So your train is arriving, or your fruits of your labor is arriving. I don't know if you guys ever rode a train at night, or maybe you have done like a cross country, like you maybe have traveled by Amtrak or Acela cross country, or even like the European states as well too, or Asian countries as well too, where you may have taken a train from one side of the country to another side, or Africa. Take it how it resonates. But with that being said here, sitting on a train for a couple days or a couple hours here, you're seeing the beauty at its core. Like you're seeing the beauty in its real authentic time, you know? And I feel like you have been on this train for a while, where now you're able to actually accept it for what it is. Okay, this is what it is. This person was not my friend. This person was not who I thought they were. They were more of an associate, because most individuals are such. They are just that. They're associates. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to place them in the correct category in regards to how you see fit here. But you're able to see all of the greatness in its actual time. Okay? And that's the beauty of it. So as you're moving forward here, they're still stuck because it's all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Well, I should have treated the collective right. I should have said this. I should have done this here. And it's too late. Listen to me, divine collective. Yeah, I'm going to put a little stank on it. Okay. Listen to me when I'm saying here. You are a great deal, and you need to start acting like such. Yes, I said it. It's not cockiness. It's confidence. You need to start acting like who you truly are. Like I keep saying, you the big dog in this MF. You are the big dog in this MF here. Clearly, because if you're able to move forward and you have no animosity, or you don't have any hate for anyone from the past here, they're the ones that's getting stuck. Why are they getting stuck in their head here? Is because they're truly guilty in regards to either how they treated you or how they did not treated you. You're going to have to take that, how that resonates. Start walking around this world as the big dog that you are. Yes, again, it's not cockiness. It's confidence. You're a big deal. And you need to start acting as such, divine collective. I want to make that very clear. You haven't realized that when you move forward here, that people get stuck in their head over you? I wonder why. Y'all better start acting like it, okay? And they hate you for that. Who freaking cares? Yeah, of course all eyes gonna be on you, because you're here to do what you need to do authentically. Yeah. Yeah, you're here to do what you need to do authentically, and it puts people in a suspense because they never thought that you can do it. That's the whole main idea or the topic of the situation here. The toxic family, of course, knew you couldn't do it. They just knew you couldn't do it because they didn't show you anything new. They didn't do anything to make sure. They didn't do anything to make sure that you were on the up and up. You didn't have the correct edification or the correct tools to ensure that you could be successful here. They did that strategically. Yes. They never saw the greatness in you. They wanted to dim the greatness within you here. So they come across other friends or associates here that were on the same caliber or same mental wavelength surrounding them here, and this is why they get stuck in the position here. Yeah, they're not invited to the party. You're the life of the party, okay? You're the life of the party, collective. So of course everybody is watching you. They're watching your beautiful or handsome glow up. And you look damn good while you're glowing up here. And it's like, wait, well, when did that happen? How did that happen? Wait, so wait, the collective's better off without us? Yes, you are. You are. Be confident in your healing. Be confident in your discernment. Be confident in your success of self. Fuck them. They realize way too long or way too late. That's on them, not on you. I'm hearing a Little Kim, Wonder Bumble with the B, huh? Throw a hex on the whole family. Dressing all black like the Omen. Now they feel like they're seeing your ghost, or they keep feeling the ghost or the presence of your ghost here, because you done long gone and get the hell up out of Dodge. You just got the hell up out the way. Okay, you feel that way about me? And what people think about you is none of your concern. The only concern is what you think about yourself and the connection that you have with Source, Divine, God, Jesus, universe, Krishna, Buddha, ancestors. Those are the only thing you should be concerned about. How do you view yourself? Do you think highly of yourself? Do you speak highly of yourself? Yes and yes. And if you haven't got there, you will soon. You have to shift the way you think of self. You have to shift the way you perceive self. Let me look up the etymology of the word perceive. 1 second. The etymology of the word perceive: become aware of, gain knowledge of, especially to come to know by direct experience. Aren't you having a direct experience surrounding you? You are the direct experience because you are directly living your life. Does that make sense? Perceive also represents being noticed, seeing, recognizing, and understand. You notice yourself, you see yourself, you recognize yourself, you understand yourself. So if you're able to understand and able to add in these adjectives in your day-to-day here, you're going to perceive yourself in a very positive way. And they don't like that. Who cares? Who cares? They only do things to push the button on you. Who cares? Well, they're still doing this towards me. Well, they're still stalking me. They want a reaction out of you. They want validation from you. They want you to confirm what they're doing towards you. And you're much better than that. I'll take your comment. Jarrell Jackson states on YouTube, they all need to grow up. They can't grow up because you were the one that they were anchored to growing up. But when you've disconnected or when you severed the anchor or the connection to them, they're in the space where they need to be. They don't know how to grow without the help of others. They need other people to help and assist them to grow up. You're not here to be anyone's anchor. You're not. Hi, brother. Hey, boo. Hey, Brandon. You're not here to be an anchor for other people that refuse to be an anchor for themselves. Let me repeat that. You are not here to be an anchor for someone or someone else that refuse to anchor themselves. Make it make sense. Bonsoir, ça va? Make it make sense. The more they can get you in a space of not making sense, the more they can get you to feel disoriented. The more they can make you feel discombobulated. The more they want you to go against yourself. How does that benefit you, Divine Collective? How? Anyone. I'll wait for the answer. Sincerely and genuinely, how does this benefit you? In what way, shape, or form? Someone that needs, not wants, they need, big difference. They need to be anchored to you. Not a want, they need. A need is is like a desperation. Oh, I need to be connected to the collective. Why? For what reason? For what purpose? Is the purpose of an advantage for them, or is a purpose for a disadvantage for you? For what reason do they truly need to be connected to you? For what reason? So when that need is no longer there, yes, it is. Jarrell Jackson asked on YouTube, is that considered a leech? 100% yes. Yes. Hey, Indigo. Yes. So if the need is no longer there and you're realizing that they're trying to utilize you as such, as a need, you can sever the connection of them needing you. What do they need you for? So they can continue to survive, not even thrive. They need you to continue to survive, not thrive. You're the one that's thriving. Clearly is the reason why they're trying to anchor towards you, or trying to leech off of you, or trying to connect to you. But if you sever the connection here, the need is no longer beneficial. The need no longer exists. Does that resonate? Or does that make sense? Hey, Carlo. Hey. You are all that you need. You need and want. Don't go against the need of you. Don't go against the wants of you. Again, you're in a space where you're thriving. They only need you to continue to survive. They don't know anything what it's like to thrive, clearly, because the moment that you disconnect from them, they're still in a space of survival. And you can see that plain as day. Which is why and how you become the center of attention, because they need to reconnect to you to continue to survive, not thrive. If they knew how to thrive without you, you wouldn't be going through any of this. You wouldn't be the center of the show from people from the past, because they would know how to thrive within themselves, and they don't. That's why they always throwing insults at you. Or you think you better. Or you think you this. But they weren't saying that when they were connected and attached to you to survive. Make it make sense. Hey. Make it make sense. The real question here is, do you really need them, or do they need you? Sit down and ask yourself that question. Some of us are afraid to dive deep because we think the worst thing want to come up. What is the worst thing that can come up? The truth? Are you really that afraid of the truth? If you keep saying and claiming, and I'm going there respectfully, of course, but if you keep claiming and deeming that you are the truth, then you need to see the truth for what it is and how exactly in regards to how it is. That's the authenticity of it. That's the rawness of it. You can't be afraid to see the truth for what it is. Is it hurtful? Yeah, it can be. But I promise you, you're going to feel 10 times lighter. It's like you going to the restroom, you're taking the number 2. After you do what you do in the restroom, you're going to feel 10 times lighter. Oh, yeah, I feel great, you know? Release it. Release things that no longer serves you for your highest good. Yes. Jamie states on YouTube, they hate the fact we truly don't need them. What do you need them for? They were anchored to you. You weren't anchored to them, which is why when you came into a space, when it was come to disconnect from them, you were okay. You continue to thrive even more. You were the source to their survival or to them surviving. You were, not the other way around. Never forget that. And the collective, and the collective, and we need to come together. What are they coming together for? For what reason? To continue to survive off of you thriving. You haven't noticed that when you disconnect from people that no longer serve you for your highest good, you shoot up like a bamboo stalk. You shoot up like a beanstalk. You shoot up like a shooting star. Because you were here and you were destined to thrive, not survive. You were here and destined to thrive, not survive. Why should I worry? Why should I care? It's just the beat population. I got street savoir-faire. That's Billy Joel. Oliver, I think it's called Oliver and Company. Or Oliver Twist and Company, something like that. I'll take you up. Jarrell, you on fire. Let me give you some flowers, Jarrell. Come on, let me give you some flowers, boo. Okay? Because you're really helping the collective with your commentary. So I really appreciate your commentary. Jarrell states, it's really disturbing to see this truth with family. You guys were the only person within the whole family dynamic that they saw you as a potential to anchor to your greatness. Look, my little buddy barking out there. You were the only one. They wanted to beat down on you as they took from you. They wanted to beat down on you as they siphon from you. And if they keep siphoning from you thriving, at the end of it all, you're going to be in the same position as them surviving. Look at the buffet. There's so many family members that are benefiting from you. So many, however it resonates. It don't have to be family members. It could be friends, ex-lovers, spouses, their family, however it resonates. But people saw you as the feast to their buffet. Oh, I'm gonna give me some of that. Oh yeah, okay, well, yeah. The collective gonna come through for me. Remember, they're thinking survival tactics, survival mode here. Oh yeah, the collective will come through for me. Man, I'm gonna just call the collective and they gonna drop everything what they're doing. And no, stop doing that as well. Stop. Stop throwing away you thriving to people that survive. Okay, well, you get some thriving. No, stop doing that. Not everyone is here or equipped to thrive. Is that a sad thing to say? Hey, you want to take that how that resonates. Some or most people don't have the equipment to what it takes to thrive without the help and assistance of others. I wouldn't even say the help or assistance, because it's not help or assistance. They just take it from you. And they think that that's okay, again, because titles. Well, I'm your mom. Well, I'm your dad. Well, I'm your friend. Well, I'm your best friend. Well, I'm your lover. I'm your ex-lover. Well, I'm your spouse. I'm your ex-spouse. Well, I'm your child. I'm your whatever, however. I'm your boss. Whatever, however resonates. It is embarrassing. Very embarrassing. That thing. Let me see. Is it this way or is it that way? Now the steps have crumbled. They can no longer pass go. They can't collect $200. Do they even have $200? I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm so for real. They can't even pay their way. They can't even take care of themselves without the help or assistance of you. And then get mad at you when you say no, huh? So you just going to use me up and then I finally say no, then they're upset? Come on, man. Come on, make this make sense, man. Your steps have crumbled because of the steps that they took. They took a quick exit or another outlet or another step because they can cheat the system. Take that how that resonates. The program, take that how that resonates, or you. I'll even spin it in this way. You were the program that updated for them to get with the program. They stated and they wanted to stay in a space of an outdated program. What's a program? It's a perception. We can spin it in that way. That's what a program is. What are you being programmed to perceive? What are you being programmed to see? And you realize, like, you know what? I don't like this program. Let me get McAfee or Norton virus on this thing real quick. And let me update my system, meaning you. And that's what you did, or soon to do. You upgraded. We have to upgrade our phones consistently. If you don't, you're going to be far back behind. When you are connecting to the internet, sometimes you have to upgrade your system as well. Everything needs to be in a form of an upgraded something. You too. And if you don't upgrade and get with the times, you're going to be outdated. You're going to be sluggish. You're going to be tired. You're going to be real slow. And you're like, well, what's going on? I can't. If that makes sense. Even your car needs to be updated from time to time. You got to get an oil change, right? You got to get the filter shift out, right? You got to get brakes sometimes. You got to get rotors, whatever, however it resonates. Everything needs to be in the form of an updated something. Yes, everything takes maintenance. Brian states on TikTok. Absolutely. Because if you don't maintain that thing that needs to be maintained, it's going to fall apart eventually. So yes. Not the cards flying out like that. Now look at you soaring. Literally, figuratively, spiritually, metaphorically speaking. Look at you soaring. You in the sky. And people see that star twinkling in the sky. Whether the sun is there, whether the sun is not. But you're twinkling where you need to be. Up high in the sky. Somebody could be going to HUP, H-U-P, which is University of Pennsylvania Hospital. Okay, that's HUP. We also have... What the hell are cards flipping out? Dirty dishes. This is the mental anguish, the physical anguish, the financial anguish, the spiritual anguish. that they want to place onto you. They want to leave their dirty dishes in your sink. Why? Why do that to yourself? Why? Pourquoi? Pourquoi? Why? Because all you're left with is that, the dirty dishes. Hey, that's all you left with. You're not a waste basin. You're not a waste space. You're not. They burnt the bridge. They cut the bridge. They did. They did. The steps was already faulty to begin with. It was rickety to begin with. And when you realize the ricketies or the rickedness of the steps, you severed it, as you should. So they have to sit there and eat their crow. My mother wouldn't allow me to go to sleep with dishes in the sink, and I can't stand that today. My mother did the same thing to me, and I'll even throw one even higher for you, or deeper. She would leave a spoon in the sink. After I wash the dishes, she would leave the spoon in the sink after I go to bed, and then would literally wake me up to wash the spoon that she placed in the sink. Why you want to be around somebody like this? Why you want to be around filth in this nature? Why? Why should you appease their filthiness? Why? Somebody could listen to the Temptations. Well, it's just my imagination running away with me. Well, it's just my imagination running away with me. For who? On your part or their part? I can't read the collective. I don't know what's going on with the collective. Do you have the pamphlet for the collective? Do you have the tutorial for the collective? Do you have the handbook of the collective? Well, what's going on in their life? Oh, I don't know. Oh, woe is me. Oh my God, I can't survive. I can't move forward. What the fuck that got to do with the collective is what I'm asking here. What does that have to do with you? Because they decide to be in thriving mode. What does that have to do with you? Baby, let them people survive and you keep moving forward thriving, please. To hell with them. They only say something when you break free from them, not before. After you do. Dang, what's this card? It's anger. I was doing this deck here, but this card came out. So they're nothing, dang, okay. Angry and thief. They're angry because they can't take from you. They're very angry because they can't take from you. Bad luck here. Oh, it's the collector's fault. I can't pay my bills. Oh, it's the collector's fault. I'm losing my car. Oh, it's the collector's fault. I can't this and that. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I'll split it in this way. It was your fault to continue to allow this to be going on for a very long time. I'll put it that way. That's the only fault that you had or have. You allowed this to continue to keep brewing and growing. We have Aries, shocking message, stuck energy. So an Aries that has anger issues, fire sign, is very upset because they're in stuck energy and they have bad luck and damn, okay. Well, shit, anger issues came out twice. They're very angry at you. Oh, well. Too bad, so sad. Oh, well, that's on them. Secrets, karma, and tower moments here. Because secretly, they're going through karma. That's the tower moment. Could be an Aquarius that's broken, mind, body, and soul. The Hinda, Lord. Somebody that could be Hilda. The hidden agenda is not so hidden anymore, is it? But it took for you to see and notice the agendas of them trying to be hidden from you. They want to abuse you and misplace you while they're trying to hide their true intentions towards you. No. One more time. No. One more time. Fuck no. That's not fair to you, Divine Collective. It's not. You're not responsible for their mishaps. You're not responsible for their shortcomings. You're not. You're responsible for yours and yours alone. If you have a child or children, then of course. Minors, yeah, of course. But you're responsible for you and solely you, which is why you're thriving now. Because you took time to take care of self in the way that you needed to take care of self. And it's being shown, it's evident, it's put it in front of everybody's face, it's written all over your face. You don't have to say your word. You don't. Your success don't have to say a word. It speaks for you. Success is also a form of vibration, a frequency. And now you're emitting from it. Somebody eating a spring roll. It's written over your face. Sudden changes are here. You're going through sudden changes, and so are they. It's balanced, believe it or not. Yes, it is. You're on the up and up. They're at the bottom. Okay, that's on them. Don't make nobody feel guilty for what they decided not to do. They're only praying to get back in your good graces. Why? Because they want you to do the work for them again. No. No, collective. No. Praying, but faith is in reverse. Well, if I pray about it, I just know the collective's going to come back to me and, well, we're still family. We're still friends. You're not friends or family with these heifers. You're not. They have to guilt trip you to sustain their title? No, absolutely not, collective. No, boo. Let me ask you this, Divine Collective, and be honest. Do you truly know your worth? Be honest. Do you truly honor your worth of self? Do you know your worth? If the answer is no, that's okay. That's the first step, of course, of you admitting that you're not aware. That's okay. If you do, great. But if you're in a space where you don't know it yet, acknowledge the parts that you don't feel worthy of. That's where you have to do the shadow work with. So there's some parts of me I don't feel worthy. Okay, what parts may that be? Could it be confidence? Yeah, you know what? I do have imposter syndrome, or I may suffer from imposter syndrome, or whatever the case may be. Okay, well now you have you know what I mean? Now you have a line where you can start to go deeper. And now you're starting to understand, okay, well, where did this imposter syndrome come from? This is just an example, of course. Well, I suffer from imposter syndrome because my mom told me that I would never be good, or I could never be better, or I could never be better than her. Well, now you know it came from mom figure or dad figure or brother or sister figure. What do you need to do next? You dive deeper. The more you dive deeper, the more you're going to get to the answer, the origin of the truth. That's what you need in order for you to move forward. You need the truth. And sometimes the truth recognizes within yourself, or you can recognize the truth within yourself. Sometimes you don't have to have a conversation with them, because if they're not giving you the truth, they're not going to be able to help you with it. Some people say, oh, I need the truth. Okay, well, I need to talk to them. You're just going to be beating yourself. You're just going to be beating a dead horse. They don't know what truth is. So they can't give you something that they don't know. Does that make sense? The ones that do know your worth, you're going to see people that's going to come up against you. Why? Because they don't know their worth. So that's why they're coming up against you. You know yours, they don't. Oh, well, the collective. We don't give a flying fart. You don't care? No. Why should you? They want something that you have, worth of self. And they look specifically for you to validate their self-worth. No. Who cares if they argue and they fight and they scream? Who cares? Who cares? They need you to care to validate their toxic love towards you. Let me repeat that. They need you, specifically you, to care, to validate their toxic love. What is toxic love? Can love be toxic? No, it can't. Toxic love is what that is. It's toxic. Love has never, ever, ever, ever been toxic. It hasn't. You carry that within yourself daily. You show up for yourself daily. You love yourself daily. You do. So how can love be toxic? So they confused with an aura. They confused. Oh, and you, and y'all, man, yeet their asses out your life, boo. Yeet them. You can shot put them. You can javelin. Get them out your life. Get them out your energy. Get them out your space. They don't mean you no good. Get them out your space. Of course, someone that feels comfortable in your space, in the moment that they're yeeted out your space, of course they're going to have an issue with that. Well, who are you to get me out your space? And who are you to disconnect from me? And how dare you? And they, of course they're going to talk about it like that. Hey, Winston. They can no longer cheat you out of you. They need you to cheat you out of you. And the moment that you cheat you out of you, they just have all the greatness of you. No. One more time. No. 9. Nah. That ain't it, little dog. That ain't it, little chief. Hell nah. Nugget. Nah, ninja. Nope. No communication. What is no communication? No communication. The answer is no. Mm-mm. So they're stressed out, not you. Gemini. They only put you in stress when they feel stressed. So, excuse me, you could be the Gemini or they are the Gemini. However it resonates. But it's time for y'all to do better with yourself. Divine Collective. To hell with what they got to say. People going to talk about you till the cows come home. Who cares? They're going to watch you till the cows come home. Who cares? You should still be aware, of course, but at the same time, you shouldn't care. Because by you caring that they are aware, that you know that they're watching you. Oh, see, I got them. See, I told you they still love me. What is that? What is that? Let them watch. Put on the show, boo. Shit. They're just going to watch you step into your goddamn greatness. 9 of Cups. You're feeling good. You smelling good. You looking good. Emotionally, spiritually, financially. All them things. You look good. You look great. And you deserve that because you did the work. The name Persephone is coming up. Persephone. You're going to start to see miraculous outcomes happen for you, Divine Collective, if you are doing what you are supposed to do. Page of Cups is here. 6 of Pentacles. Yes, you are. People are going to thank you for speaking your story, for standing up for yourself. When you think people are not watching you, they're watching you. They won't say, which is fine. They ain't got to say nothing. But people watch you specifically for a reason. They resonate with you. That's one reason. Yeah, dang, that's crazy. The collective went through that. I went through that too. This is where you in the space of the 6 of Pentacles. Where everyone is seeing your greatness. Everyone. Page of Cups. There are going to be people that are going to want to start to follow you because you were able to get out of what they're currently stuck in. Chaos, turmoil, angst, anxiety, etc., etc. How the collective do that? Well, let me get close to the collective. Let me see if they can help me out. People watch you for a reason because they're shocked that you were able to surpass their foolishness. That's why they watch you. How did they get out of that? I did everything possible to keep them stuck. No, they didn't. That's their mind literally playing tricks on them. Isn't that a song? Is that by the Root Boys or something like that? It's an 80s group. Fat Boys, I believe it's called. 80s rap group. I think they were spelled P-H-A-T, the Fat Boys, something like that. 10 of Swords. That's what they're in. So as you're getting good news, great news, they're getting bad news. Oh well. Hermit. Hermit mode. So now they're trying to contemplate. Now they're trying to go deeper within themselves to see how they can get in the same position as you. Will they be able to do it? Honestly, no. How many chances did they have to get it together? How many? They leaned on you specifically to get them out of the situation. Oh, the ghetto boys. Okay, thank you. You're not in the situation anymore, so they have to fend for themselves. And most people can't. Let's be honest with the reality of things. Most people say, oh yeah, they can get it together. Yeah, they can if they want to. Can they? Will they? More than likely, no. That's why they're talking about you and watching you and oh, and yeah, and it's good. No. Let them watch. Justice is here. Let them watch. Could be a Libra. However it resonates. Libra represents justice here. Let them watch. Give them a show. Get your life together. Recalibrate. Reinvigorate. Rejuvenate. Do what you got to do. You owe that to self and only self. Could be a Virgo. You could be a Virgo. They could be a Virgo. We have Aries. You could be an Aries. They could be an Aries. Sagittarius. You can be a Sag. They could be a Sag. Scorpio. You could be a Scorpio. They could be a Scorpio. You have Libra. You could be a Libra. They could be a Libra. Virgo again. Libra. Okay, so if that resonates, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to grab a copy of this book here. It is called Wisdom Beyond Wounds, all right? Readily available for purchase on Amazon.com. If you would like to join us in the Facebook group, just definitely search Wisdom Beyond Wounds and you will see us there. I post prompts every day, surrounding healing questions. Are the questions deep? Yes, it is. Will the questions trigger you? Yes, it will. That's what you need in order for you to break through out of the facades that people have conditioned you to be under or to live under. You need the truth to move forward. Sometimes the truth is hard to swallow or hard to, digest. That's why the group was created. So that way you don't feel alone as you are healing yourself. Okay? Love to you guys. You're freaking great. You are freaking phenomenal. Go out there and be freaking great because why? You owe that to yourself. You do. You do. Okay? Love you guys. Thanks so much for being here. It is truly appreciated. TikTok. Love, love, love to you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for the gifts. It's truly appreciated. I'll see you later on. Yes. Thank you so much, you two, for being here. You're truly appreciated. Love to you guys. I'll see you in the next one.